Hey guys, my name is Sean. I'm the nutritionist on the team for WellMe. I come from a background of very, very heavy science. It's my passion and what I do in my life. So I got into health because the current health system, the current health model, I thought is essentially broken. We're being told things that make us sick, and it's time for a change. It usually takes a few generations to implement that change, but I want to put that into action right now. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about 5 different nodes of health, 5 different areas of science that I've come to, through my research, find as the most important things you can do to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak, through your health. So the 5 nodes of health are sleep, which is number 1, and we'll talk about why. Time-restricted feeding, which is when you eat. Gut health, which is number 3. Nutrition, number 4. And hydration, number 5. So to start things off, we're going to talk about the science of sleep. Now, how sleep works is you've got 4 stages of sleep, and REM, the famous one, very unimaginatively called stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1 is when you're just starting to drift off to sleep. If someone comes and wakes you up, you would say, I was never asleep at all. Stage 2, that is your power nap kind of stage. Lasts about half an hour, and if you go any further than that, that's when you wake up very, very drowsy. It's also a stage where if you can't get past it because you can't drop your body temperature, because your body is filled with stimulants, or because you've stayed up way too late, you can't get to stage 3, 4, and REM, which is the restorative stages of sleep. Stage 3 and 4 is more about repairing the body, the tissues of the body, all the damage that's done throughout the day of daily living. The REM sleep, which is the really famous one, that's more so for your brain function. And unfortunately for us, it is the majority of your REM sleep is actually in the last 2 hours of your 8-hour sleeping cycle. So if you're averaging 6 hours a night, then you're missing out on a lot of REM and your brain is going to be suffering. So the way I like to think of sleep is like plugging yourself into recharge every night. You are built for an 8-hour recharge time, an 8-hour good quality recharge time. So if you plugged your phone in at night, and you woke up the next morning and it was only on 25%, you'd say you need a new charger or you need a new phone, right? So it's the exact same thing with your sleep. If you're waking up and you're not feeling refreshed at 100% battery, then you have a sleeping problem, and there's something that we need to do about it to help fix the problems in future. The second point that I want to talk about is time-restricted feeding. Time-restricted feeding is a very well-researched area in health at the moment, and it is essentially just having all of your normal food in a day and you put it into a set window. Now what this does is it gives the body time to do all the other jobs that it wants to do when you're normally digesting. Digesting is a huge process, much bigger than we really ever imagine, and when we're digesting we can't do the other jobs that we need to do, like killing cancer cells, getting rid of our lazy cells because they do exist, repairing our gut lining, improving the cognitive function of our brain, and even things like removing skin conditions. So how do we actually go about incorporating time-restricted feeding into our daily lives? It's very, very simple. You just pick a window, ideally 8 to 9 hours, try aim for 8, and all of your food within your day is going to be inside that window. For example, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m, or 8 a.m. until 4 p.m, or it could be 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. The third node of health that we're going to talk about is your gut health. Now, your gut is a very, very large part of your body. It is your engine. You wouldn't expect your car to work very well if the engine didn't work very well. It's the exact same thing for your body. So if we're going to zoom out and look at the big picture of what gut health is, it's basically a war every single day of your life between good and bad bacteria. Now the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, they're both fighting for real estate inside your gut lining. The more real estate there is that owns by the good guys that help you, the better you're going to feel, the better you're going to operate, because they're trying to help you to help them. So how do we go about improving our gut health? Well, oddly enough, the number 1 thing you can do is time-restricted feeding. So giving your body that time to repair the gut and diversify the good bacteria and starve off the bad ones will actually improve your gut health enormously. That's why we see so many gut issues being healed through time-restricted feeding. The second thing you can do is to take probiotics. So there's a lot of probiotic foods out there, or probiotic supplements, especially if you've been taking antibiotics within the past year. It's good to put those good bacteria populations back inside the body, and then you can start feeding them with vegetables. So the fourth node that I'm going to talk about is nutrition, and it's the fourth most important. As a nutritionist, this was a really, really big pill to swallow, because for my whole life I thought food is everything, you are what you eat, and that's the end all be all. But actually, it is the fourth most important. You get the other first three nodes right first, and nutrition amplifies the results after that. So your nutrient profile, you want to prioritize fiber, so that's your bacteria food. Then you've got your protein, and then you've got your fats as your main fuel source. So the last node of health that I'm going to talk about is hydration. Now, it's by no means the least important. If anything, it is one of the most important. However, it's so simple, I've just put it at the end here. For anyone that isn't already drinking 2 to 3 liters of water per day, when you start, there's going to be a lot of trips to the bathroom. This is just because the muscles around the bladder haven't formed yet. And once they do form, you become like a camel and you can hold all the water you really want. But it's just for that initial phase that you're having a lot of trips to the bathroom. So guys, in summary, we've got the 5 different nodes of health. So you've got your sleep, you've got your time-restricted feeding, gut health, nutrition, and hydration. Do any of those one things well individually, and you will see some really good results. Do all of them collectively together, and you get some really outstanding results, and you feel like Superman. So thank you for listening, and I guess just watch out for some more content from us coming soon.